Hello and welcome to Bad Idea Network, where we're going to talk platforms and content creation and money.
General advice on
Yeah,
how we would recommend starting content creation or continuing on with content creation.
yeah. Regardless of whichever platform you're on. While we both have the most experience with Twitch, I think is the most fair to say. We
Yeah, the
have
most
small amounts
experience.
of experience with most platforms.
And
I don't want to say
probably,
all because there's,
no, definitely not all yet.
yeah, there's some that haven't really dabbled in. I have made one single TikTok ever.
I have
Something
three.
I'll probably get into doing more of it. Three? Oh, wow.
You're in them.
I'm impressed.
You're in them.
Are they all for Bad Idea Network?
They're all for Bad Idea Network right now. There's more
That
coming.
doesn't count. They're just trailers. First thing to really address is everything that's blowing up on Twitter with Twitch. Is that people are upset that the 70/30 cut is going to be extremely limited in its offer and that it's just a 50/50 cut for most people and future partners outside of special circumstances at their discretion. I think it's reasonable to be upset and be like, but that why number? I think it's a reasonable thing to be upset about. There's a lot of misinformation that's going around that, and I will address that really quickly. You have to make $100,000 in a year to go down to that 50/50. Am I going to sit here and be like, oh, that's impossible? Nobody's going to make that. Somebody will make it. But I believe it's 28,500 something subs to hit that. But that doesn't include ad revenue. That doesn't include bits or the all new Super Cheers system that we will also get into because that is brand fucking new.
Yeah,
There's two new cheer things. I have all the information you'll need for both.
go ahead then.
One of the things is called a Super Cheer, where instead of bits, you just tip raw money through a third party company. They take a cut, Twitch takes a cut, you get paid after that. It's less than bits. That's the first and foremost, it's less than bits. This is designed to be, to quote, less confusing, which a lot of people didn't understand bits. I've gotten questions ever since they come out of how much do you get for the bits, how much are bits worth, etc. This is just flat out, I'm giving streamer a dollar, minus fees and background stuff. The cool thing with this that a lot of people are really dogging on and against is that the super cheer, if you, I don't know the exact numbers across the board, but if you give a dollar, you pick an emote to unlock for yourself if you're not a sub, and I think it's three people at random in the chat get it, only until the stream ends.
Yes, sure about the only until the stream ends. That one was a bit of a strange benefit.
I'm okay with it personally if the old bit system where like you've tipped so much you personally get a bit emote that you get to keep forever stays.
That
I
makes
don't think there's
sense.
been any conversation on that, and
So
that's something I'm worried about.
are bits being phased out because they've been
This
around
is
for a
purely a
while?
beta test. That's something I should have said at the very start. This is a beta test. It's them trying it. If it doesn't go over well, or if people prefer the bit system, I don't think it'll stay.
Okay. Because obviously bits have been around for a while, but they haven't got to the
Mhm.
point where other countries outside the US, as far as I'm aware, can watch ads for bits, and I'm unsure if
That's gone.
even all can the US no longer do that either.
Yeah, that's been gone.
Okay, so it's just buy it outright. Here's your
Buy it
fee.
outright.
Here's how many bits you get.
$1.40 is 100 bits, and then you get discounts as you go higher. It's also worth noting if you purchase them on mobile, disclaimer, do not ever purchase bits on mobile. You will be paying a higher fee because you're paying Twitch their fee as well as a platform cut for less bits. However, if you open up a stream in browser desktop mode, you can purchase those bits for the standard price on a desktop, which is important.
That's good information.
It's also worth mentioning currently if you know a streamer that has the super cheer and you don't like that, or you still have bits and you want to tip bits, you can open up your phone on mobile and tip bits still to those streamers. Another big change that's coming with bits and gift subs and etc. that is currently also being beta tested. I'm not sure the region on this, which is the only thing I feel bad about not knowing. Hype trains, unlimited level.
Yeah, I saw that as
It no
well on
longer
Twitter.
caps out at 5. Yeah, it no longer caps out at 5. It keeps going. And on top of that, it'll put up like a leaderboard slash high score to encourage people to try and beat it.
Is that a high
Um,
score for all channels, so everyone that's ever had a hype train?
Personal channel.
Personal
So,
channel.
like, if I have a hype train level 3 that goes off, the next hype train will be like, oh, can you beat level 3? No real opinion on it. It's an interesting change. I can see it going extremes of both ways of people being like, I don't really like that, or I really like that. Something was bugged. All right, so we've quickly talked super chats. We've talked new hype train systems. Both are in beta test, and who knows? Could be great, could be awful, might get scrapped, might continue forever.
I think the issue I have with regards to Twitch is, like I said, when I was trying to find the information out, it's not directly on Twitch. I had to go to Twitter, find their
I had to go
post,
to Twitter. Yeah.
then go to their blog, which is from their Twitter, and it
Mm-hmm.
was just, why isn't that information just directly in one
On the
location
homepage, like,
on
hello, here you
Twitch?
go.
Yeah, I have seen a lot about the excessive ads, like five.
It's
Uh,
bad.
is it that bad?
Yeah.
Five unskippable
Um,
ads on some channels.
I've had upwards to 10,
Wow.
but usually if it goes past 5, it's the creator manually running ads, whether they admit it or not. If I see more than 5 ads at any point in time, I'm leaving that channel.
I understand, obviously, they wanted to increase and encourage mid rolls,
Yeah.
but there was a level of control over those. But now, there was something I was reading earlier or yesterday where they really want to encourage you to get a higher payout. I think it was up to 49% or something. If you run 3 minutes worth of ads, I think it was every hour.
I don't think 3 minutes of ad over an hour, if you have full control over it, isn't bad. And I mean full control. If I want to run like 16 seconds of ads while I'm queuing up for a lobby and not in a game every so often, and I get that 3 minute mark within that hour and that counts, that I'm down for. I don't manually run ads. I tried a few experiments with it. I don't like it. It feels icky to me personally.
Yeah, I remember when it first came out, I turned it off and was just like, nope, not really interested.
Yeah.
It may make me more money, but at the end of the day, it's going to alienate more viewers than anything else. Also, ads have been breaking, even before the excessive ads, ads were breaking the actual stream themselves. And now I
Yeah.
know from people talking on Twitter and other places, it has gotten worse. And you're waiting at least 5 ads sometimes to then find out it's completely broken. You've got to refresh the page. Here's 5 more ads.
Since you haven't been on Twitch too often, you know about the picture in picture thing, right?
In what sense?
So main screen will just be an ad. Above the chat, they'll have the streamer still playing the game or their webcam or what have you, but it'll be muted. Kind of defeats the purpose. What I would love to see personally is more of what ironically YouTube does, where it's like, oh, here's an ad and it's a little banner along the bottom.
That's what I would like to see because I have done it that way with
Mm-hmm.
other companies, third parties to Twitch, where they just put, here's a
Yeah.
little ad. It's not in the way, you get to choose. As long as you keep it to size specifications, it can be red, they will tell you what you need, or it can be a banner depending on
Yeah.
what type of ads they are running at that particular time. You get a few pence, but you do know what you're getting. You get told you get this amount of money for this amount of viewers at this time of day. So I think that is a direction Twitch could actually look into.
Yeah, I want to see more accessibility options, different variations. I want them to test more stuff.
I don't think anyone has a particular problem with the fact that Twitch wants to advertise. That's fine. That's how they make a fair amount of their
Yeah,
money. That's not a
that's how
problem.
they keep the platform going.
But there's better ways to implement it.
Yes.
And if your
Absolutely.
streamer has more control over it, they may run more ads.
They may also be much more
I
excited
mean,
to run the ads if
yeah,
they have the control.
we're at the point again of what I would call the affiliate migration, and I think it's the excessive ad rolls that are currently doing it. This happens regularly.
Still, migration.
It's at least once a year there is an
That
affiliate
time of year,
migration.
the affiliates are flying south. There goes the ninja bird. We should actually talk about him. It's pretty relevant to this stuff. Do you know what Ninja is currently doing?
I'm not up in the loop with Ninja, no.
That's okay. Um, I don't remember how I found out. It was the wildest thing. Uh, I don't like how it was initially presented. I'm not going to talk about that or touch that. I'm not happy about it. But he is currently streaming to everything, partnered with nobody. He is simultaneously streaming on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook gaming, just everything all at once. And I can't imagine how bad of a chatting experience it is.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to touch on was while multi-stream's a possibility, I can't see the appeal of it. But that said, someone as big as Ninja might
Yeah,
benefit
he's
from
making his
doing that.
money off sponsorships,
So,
not an individual platform
widespread audience
sponsorship.
isn't a terrible idea
Mhm.
for him. I would not recommend it for virtually anyone else ever, but I do understand
If you have
why that's a
less than a
possibility.
thousand viewers, don't.
You'd have to keep
It's
up with more
worth.
chat.
We're talking Ninja, who no matter what platform, no matter what individual platform he is on, he would never be able to keep up with his chat.
That's true.
So for him to just add 7 more chat panels, it's not going to make a difference to him at all. He's still going to catch a few messages out of every thousand. Emphasis on thousand.
Yeah, because a lot of our advice would go towards you've either just started or are starting streaming, or you've kind of hit a rut.
You've been doing a while.
Yeah, and you want to figure out how you want to grow and things. Our advice would be more towards that than anyone like Ninja who
Yeah,
can
if you're
just throw
wildly
out.
successful, you can do whatever the hell you want
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, so just throw the
As long as
advice
you're
away.
not explicitly breaking terms of service for the platform you're on, you're fine. Whatever you do is going to work.
We watched a video, was it today or yesterday, wherein someone
Yesterday.
misrepresented the affiliate terms of service, the contract you sign
Yes.
for affiliation.
And then in the same video contradicts what they had said and was like, "Oh, but you can do this."
So
It's
just to
like, but
clarify,
you just
having read the contract before I became an affiliate,
hmm.
anything you stream live to Twitch as an affiliate has to be exclusive content at the time you film it. So as you are live on Twitch, you cannot be live on another platform. However, once
Also, this is important. There is a small disclaimer there. It's also exclusive to Twitch for 24 hours, which is something that a lot of people ignore.
I forgot about the 24 hours, I will say that.
Yeah.
Because you can then archive it or export it to YouTube directly from
Yep.
Twitch, but obviously the 24 hours will have passed by the time that option becomes available to you. You can automate that, and again, 24 hours, it'll just do it for you. I don't know of any real benefit to archiving your streams to YouTube unless you're archiving them to a private channel to then edit in the future or for an editor. But personally, I don't know how I feel
Yeah,
about archiving
for
streams.
every single individual VOD, for like a specific series that you want to keep instead of just highlighting it on the channel, that I could understand. But like every single stream forever, I don't see the appeal of that personally. It is also worth noting, even for like a specific series, I don't upload my VODs anywhere else. If you missed it, you kind of missed it. You got the 2 week period, and then it's gone forever.
I had a series at one point which was where I was playing indie games. I would automatically send the VODs over to YouTube, but it only lasted about 2 to 3 episodes, and I've rebranded it since then. I might bring it back eventually, so there might be, but it would probably be more
Okay.
specifically recorded for YouTube.
Another thing we should segue into is
Yeah,
content for platform,
yeah.
and just leaving it as broad as content for platform.
YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok are the main ones that we've got some
Yeah.
understanding of. Your content in each of those should be wildly different.
With a disclaimer of YouTube Shorts and TikTok can be 1-to-1.
They can be, but also if you want to monetize your YouTube Shorts, I was checking this out, make sure it's not a re-upload with the TikTok logos. It has to be a unique video to YouTube Shorts. I don't know if that means you can't upload the same thing to YouTube and TikTok, but obviously if you re-upload from TikTok, it has the TikTok logos in the corners as the little watermarks.
I'm talking sit down, edit, make video, upload, upload.
Yeah,
Yeah, your own personal watermark, sure, but not
yeah,
a platform watermark.
yeah. Speaking of which, actually, the YouTube Shorts early next year, you can monetize just shorts. You can make money purely from doing YouTube Shorts. So, say if you were to do little video game clips or compilations of clips, you need 10 million views over 90 days, which sounds big,
I
but
think
that's
that's starting now, isn't it?
no. YouTube says early 2023. I had the information up just before we started recording.
Okay. The reason why I was asking is because I know they were adding monetization for everybody come 2023. I thought the
Yes,
YouTube Shorts thing was as of right this second,
what they have
but
got
you
at the
have to hit
moment
those
is
metrics.
monetization across all your content on YouTube. So hit the
Okay.
benchmarks with everything. But as of next year, at some
Okay.
point, you can monetize purely YouTube Shorts.
That's nice. It opens up more doors for people.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go. I don't know how it
It's
compares to TikTok's requirements for monetization, but obviously, with regards to TikTok, you've got a different algorithm on there, and so
wildly, yeah.
yeah, it really would depend on who's consuming your content, how, where, and their ages as well. Well,
I
depend on
well, yeah. I've also seen a lot of posts on Twitter recently about people that are uploading to YouTube Shorts as well as TikTok,
yes,
where some days they'll have TikTok absolutely blow up, YouTube nothing, and vice versa, with no rhyme or reason. Same exact videos. I don't know
yeah.
if it's an audience situation with the platform or if it's just a video being more interesting in general to one side.
I do think, see, this is one of those things I haven't had much time to look into alternatives for short form content. I am slightly addicted to TikTok because it's an easy interface, and if I want short form content, I know where to go and just
It's
swipe,
an easy
swipe, swipe.
interface with a good algorithm.
It has a very good algorithm, though it does
Yeah,
think that
I
I am.
we need to drive that because like if you like a specific set of content, that specific set of content will keep showing up for you.
Yeah,
Whereas with YouTube, I showed you the YouTube live recommendations I had where I was like wildly uninterested in this channel, wildly uninterested in this topic. One channel that I actually follow that I wouldn't mind catching live occasionally, and a channel that it ended their stream.
see, as I was saying, I didn't know how to find
Yeah,
live on YouTube. It's not the
there's a
same as
few ways,
finding
but
shorts, which is nicely at the
yeah.
bottom. I barely ever watch it, but I'm aware of where that is.
Hmm.
The only live channel that, like, I think GT Live is a separate channel to the other game theory and film theory,
Yeah.
food theory. I do follow that, but I very rarely get live notifications from them, despite the fact I have it set to everything. Because there are times when I
Oh,
would like
have
to
you
be able
rung the
to.
bell?
I have rung the bell,
Okay, sorry.
which it's still I've rung the bell for a lot of channels that I do follow, and I still get
Mhm.
very intermittent. People like Call Me Kevin, I love all his videos. I've rung that bell. I get maybe one a week, despite the fact he puts out almost every day, if not every day, most weeks.
So this is where we have a laugh because I watch a lot of Gerard the Completionist. I watch every video. I actively watch every video. YouTube sends me the notifications. I have rung 0 bells on 0 channels. I get a notification for every new completionist video. Regardless of if it's a top 10 or if it's something sidetracked entirely, I get a notification every single video.
We've looked through multiple streaming services. We actually were watching when Mixer was a thing with anticipation that it would be able to compete properly. While we were ourselves weren't making the move, there were a lot of people at that point with what we are calling the affiliate migration went over to Mixer. You know, Mixer doesn't exist anymore, which actually I am disappointed about. I thought
Yeah,
it had a
same.
lot of potential. We were watching it. The user interface was ugly. That was our main drawback. There were some great
Terrible.
tools on there, though. One of the ones
Yeah.
that was interesting was being able to have two or more streams that actually looked similar to how you'd have a Discord call, so you could put your stream and someone else's in. I can't remember how the chat function worked for that, but you were able to watch and count as an audience member for more than one stream at a time.
I know there was like a duo stream function that worked like that, but I don't know if you personally as a viewer would be able to pull up multiple channels that way.
No, 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 not as a. You couldn't do it as a viewer. You'd have to use the third-party stuff. I can't remember any of the names, but I have used them prior, where you could use like Twitch and Mixer streams all at the same time in one place. But no, if the streamer themselves brought in their friend on their stream, you would count
You're
as a
talking
viewer
about
to
the
both.
manual co-stream stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you
Okay.
would count as a viewer to both those streams. So that was actually quite a good
Yeah,
feature.
I think it was a unified chat. Like anything that was said, regardless of whose chat it was said in, would be just shown to both as well.
That's a really good feature, in my opinion. That was worthwhile.
Yeah.
The other one was limiting to just friends and things. You could cap your audience to very specific requirements.
Yeah.
I think the only alternative right now would be to do like Discord screen sharing, which is not great a lot of the time. I struggle to get the audio to work on the screen sharing for Discord. So it's not quite. I
Audio
do.
not working? Here? What? Me manually having to say US East every single time I make a
Yeah,
call?
yeah.
I don't know why that's not a global setting, or if it is, I still haven't found it and haven't really looked for it.
On the topic of other platforms that are around at the moment, we have had a look
Mhm.
into things like Trovo, D Live.
Mhm.
Um, they're okay. They're okay. They're
They're
not for
serviceable.
us.
They are definitely platforms.
If you like Twitch,
I would say
you might like it to an extent.
I would say, and this might offend people, I would say that D Live and Trovo are better options than Facebook Gaming.
Well, that was where I was going to go next. Is
Yeah, I had a feeling.
YouTube gaming. I cannot remember how that's separate to YouTube Live or anything. It is listed as a separate thing. I remember it being announced as a separate thing.
I don't know how much or if YouTube Gaming itself is around or if it's just segmented into YouTube Live now.
I think it probably has become YouTube Live just as a whole. And as I was mentioning to you, when Facebook gaming got announced, I highly recommend against it unless you are purely going to play video games. It doesn't have the downtime side of things that Twitch will offer. You can't do just chat in streams or chit chat as it's called on other platforms. Um, it had in the terms of service when
Other
it
platforms.
when it first came out, you had to be gaming. That was it. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's changed since then. I've not looked into it. I don't like Facebook as a platform that much anyway. I only use it to keep in touch with family. Facebook gaming has not been something I've been interested in, and I can't see the appeal to it, especially
I
with
think
the
one
terms of
of
service being that bad.
Yeah, coupled with the fact that Facebook doesn't want you to have fake profiles. So for Facebook gaming, it's, oh, this is you. A lot of people are uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
So Facebook actually said, well, if it's for Facebook gaming, you can have a secondary profile.
I cannot remember much about Caffeine. That was another platform we have looked. Well, I've looked
I
into
remember
previously.
you looked into it. I did not. You said, "Hey, this is a new platform. It's just come out. I know nothing about it. Do you?" And I was like, "I haven't even heard of caffeine outside of the obvious."
Yeah. No, I keep an eye on other platforms because obviously there is potential for
Yeah,
a competitor to Twitch. At this point, I am thinking like it's going to take a bigger company than the majority of them, the new ones
yeah,
are.
because
Um,
Twitch is established.
yeah,
That's the big thing.
if Google did decide that they wanted to put more focus onto a, a live stream thing, I think it would have to be separate to YouTube. But I think that's what YouTube
Agreed.
gaming was meant to be, and it didn't work out there either because again, I don't know whether it's a separate website,
I don't
whether it's
think it
part of
was that
YouTube Live.
separate.
I think it was. I think when it
I think it
first,
was a separate tab. I don't think
possibly,
it was like its whole own website.
it did have more hype around it when it first came out, though. There was a
Yeah.
lot of YouTube gaming. As we were researching through alternatives to Twitch, we found Picato, Picaarto. It is a streaming service for artists. It does look like it caters more towards the furry side of things. Highly recommend that because one of the general pieces of information they give you, and we will probably give you, although we will go into more detail, is find your niche. I don't like the wording on it personally, but it is good
It's
advice.
too vague. Just
That's
as that statement, it's way too vague.
that's why I want to discuss it more in depth. Find your niche. I know what a niche is. It is a very specific little corner, but that's very vague information. You think, oh, I need to be really
Yeah.
unique and everything. It's not quite that simple because
Yeah,
obviously
if
that's
you
more
go
complicated.
wildly unique, it'll also cause other problems. But before we get to that, dialing back to the furry artists, it's worth mentioning that when Tumblr disappeared, not even just furry artists, just artists in general lost so many places where they could even show off or produce their content or save and preserve their content. To the point of where, especially not safe for work artists are pretty much secluded to Twitter nowadays, or certain parts of Reddit. Emphasis on certain.
Right. So as I was saying, like the find your niche, there are three bits of advice that are just if you just headlines them, find your niche, diversify your content, and get on the grind. And I hate each and every one of these without them being detailed
Without
properly.
context.
Without any
Yeah.
context, none of this is good advice. So find
So
your
let's start with the
niche.
find your
Yeah,
niche. If you want to stream PS2 survival horror games, I think that's a good niche.
that's a very good
Whether you're
niche.
good or bad at them, you will find a crowd with that. If you want to stream an N64 game that 7 people in the world have heard of, I think that's a bad niche. You're taking it too far into the deep end. You need to have a niche where you can cultivate an audience based around a theme or a style or anything like that, or even around yourself, where it's unique enough and it's interesting to watch, but it's not too far different that like there's two ways for this to really go wrong. The first is if you specialize in one game, you better not ever get sick of that game. Or if you specialize in something that's too closeted and too tight or too limited in your selection, you gotta really milk that for what it's worth and hope that people follow you to the next thing that you're working on.
Yeah, with regard to the one game, we have not direct experience so much. We know people who
Yes, I do.
no, you while you have done Dead by Daylight a lot, you have also branched out more. I'm talking like this is the only game they play ever, but they did get very sick of it. And then when they did start to branch out more or at all, they
People
had
vanished.
maybe 90% of their audience if they were lucky. And not, sorry, lost 90% of their audience, had 10% of the
Yeah.
audience if they were lucky. And it just declined after that. So they had to rebuild again for what they actually wanted to stream. And they lost
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people based on, oh, we were here for this content. So don't tie yourself into one game unless, like you say, you're not going to get sick of it.
Yeah. It's something that I still struggle with Dead by Daylight purely because I'm I, I don't want to be like I'm really well known in the field. People that have come to my channel know me for one of three things. The first is Dead by Daylight. The second is, and I'm going to put quotations around this, skilled gameplay and achievement hunting, because it's not always skilled. It's really not. And the third is, thank God I can say this, but my personality and voice. There's some people, they don't care what I'm doing as long as it's me talking. That's it. They just want me talking. Doesn't matter what it is.
And we have both gone through a wide range of wildly different themes and ideas and content. You've done
Dead by Daylight.
Sudoku.
Sudoku.
Yeah, I've done reading streams.
Yeah.
I think we've both done. I know I've done an unboxing. I'm unsure. Yeah, you have. You have done an unboxing. We have gone huge spectrums of different types of content to see what people like. Like you say, I've also had to comment with people just liking my voice, so I've utilized that. I've
Yep.
read things. I've just gone into more story-based games wherein I am encouraged to read things. I know that a lot of people were using my streams to fall asleep, which is absolutely fine. They're still audience members, so
Yeah.
I streamed at times that allowed them to do
Honestly,
that.
that's really flattering.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, well, that's what my audience likes. They have given me that feedback. Can I use that? If I can, how do I use that? And what am I comfortable doing
Yeah.
with that information? Which I think is the
Yeah.
best way to look at it is, first of all, put your own comfort before anyone else's. And then, if you do get audience feedback, see if there's any way you can implement that into what you do.
A lot of it is experimentation.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to try things, you won't get any information. You'll never know. I have plans for the future of making wildly different content, unlike anything I've done before, which is weird to say because I've tried all sorts of stuff.
I think that
Fair.
probably feeds into the diversify your content because what people generally mean with that is put yourself on more than one platform, but that's not
Well,
necessarily going to work.
it's more the statement of don't put all your eggs in one basket, which still isn't entirely accurate when it comes to content creation. Because in order to be successful, you need more time than there is in a day, or an additional person helping you, at least one. I'm very thankful, and we've talked about this before. You edit the bin videos.
I do.
If you didn't do this, this would not be possible.
But yeah, like you say, it's don't put all your eggs in one basket, but also that doesn't mean spread yourself so thin that you're trying to balance every platform there is, or that you're trying to multi stream to more than one platform. You've got multiple chats to keep up with. Because one of the most off putting things I've ever seen is I'm trying to have a conversation with the people in chat and the streamer, and there's another conversation somehow going on because they've got a secondary chat that I can't see anything of. That's terrible. I don't know what's going on, and I don't know what they're responding to. So,
I've seen some bots that like take Twitch chat and move it to YouTube chat and vice versa, and I don't like that either. It feels like a disingenuous experience, if I'm being 100% honest.
yeah, so I would say if you're going live, pick one platform. I'm not going to specifically say which one to use. I would recommend Twitch.
I will.
I'm not.
Obviously, this isn't a hard set. Personal bias aside, ignoring the fact that I've been on Twitch, uh, if you talk to random people that are aware of internet space, it's going to divide your content three possible ways. The first is live content. Anytime I've ever told people that I'm a streamer, the reaction has always been, if they're aware of what that means, oh, what is your Twitch channel? If I've ever told anybody I make videos online, oh, what's your YouTube channel? That being said, TikTok is newer, so you will get the occasional, oh, do you do it on blank or blank? If you're making long form videos, YouTube is still the king for that. If you're making short term videos, while you can upload to YouTube, I would highly suggest doing TikTok. Or both if you're already making the effort to edit the videos, anyways, but lean heavier into TikTok currently.
Though I will say, I rarely watch anything that's longer than 3 minutes on TikTok. You'd have to be really engaging to get me to watch a 10-minute TikTok.
I would definitely say the 1 to 3 minute is a sweet spot. I would go 5 if you truly, genuinely believe in the content.
I'm not sure how many people
But
the
I
10
wouldn't go
minutes.
beyond 5.
No, I'm not sure how many, because the way it works was 1 minute is standard, then you unlock 3 minutes, then you unlock 10 minutes. But I don't know how many people unlock 10 minutes. I didn't have any videos when I unlocked 10 minutes, and I rarely see them that long. 3 minutes seems to be a cutoff length for the majority of people, so I don't know the requirements for unlocking that.
I have uploaded one video to TikTok. It was $5 that I spent on a joke against a friend that was so goddamn funny that I was like, I'm putting this on TikTok. And a lot of my other friends saw it there and were like, yeah, this is great. I've had a few of them be like, so when are you making more like really shitty jokes type stuff that you can post there? And it's like, I have no current plans or intentions.
Yet there's possible things in the works.
Oh, there's something I'll spoil right now where like I've been thinking about making like a jokey Dead by Daylight or something of the Accord video where instead of taking, oh my god, the sickest place you've ever seen, just the absolute dumpster fire plays where I just mess up really badly and I'm aware of it too. I'm just like, man, I can't believe I did that, and making like a small compilation out of it. Because I think it'd be funny.
The next thing, the next piece of advice is get on the grind, which is genuinely, that is my least favorite piece of advice ever.
It's bad advice no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
There's no, oh, but the context is no. The only get on the grind context that I can, it completely changes the statement, but if you're not making content, it's not going to go anywhere. But don't wring yourself dry for the sake of doing so.
Yeah, I think
streaming every day for 8 hours a day and then spending 4 hours editing those streams into videos, either long form or short form, and uploading them will potentially get you successful, but it's also going to burn you out so fast and you are never going to have energy for anything in your life ever.
Yeah, see, the get on the grind I absolutely hate, but you did touch on it there. The good piece of advice is if someone wants to know how to start making content, the best advice is just start. You will learn as you go along. You'll figure out what you like to do and whether you like it.
I actually have better advice. Make content that you would watch.
Don't spend hundreds of pounds or dollars or whatever on equipment. You can use.
You don't need Elgato Keylight Airs, a Logitech C922 Pro,
Yeah,
and
we're not
Elgato
going
Wave
to go
3,
through what we have.
Black Sharks. You don't. You can buy the shittiest fucking Rock Band USB mic that you can find, and you can talk into this. It's that simple. It is the lowest point of entry that you will ever have for any content creation, and you know what? I guarantee there's somebody that is hugely successful today just off something like that upgraded after the fact.
That is entirely possible. I do know that some people have managed to get successful without ever using microphones.
Yeah,
they have just,
which is wild nowadays.
It is, considering even your webcam comes with built-in microphones. They're not the greatest quality, but they are possibly, they're there to be used. You can do it. I would also say most people have a mobile phone or some sort of device that is capable, you can stream directly off that, playing,
Yeah.
any sort of mobile game, even the free to play ones. There will be an audience for those little puzzle games. If that is what you want to start with and see whether the streaming is for you, it's entirely worthwhile. Do not
Yeah.
spend money
Absolutely.
on something until you know it is for you. But bear in mind, majority of the time, streaming will end up being a hobby, and hobbies cost money.
It's also worth touching briefly. I've mentioned, and it's pretty easy knowledge to find out. I've been a streamer for a long time. I have put more money into my channel than I've gotten out of it, and I'm okay with that. I do it as a hobby. I don't do it specifically to make money. Money's nice, but that's not why I'm in the game. We'll end this video with a wise tip from a very successful streamer posted to his masterclass. The number one way to be successful as a Twitch streamer is to have a gamer fridge loaded with energy drinks and beverages and snacks. The worst fucking advice I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
There's not really a good way to end it. Have we touched everything we want to? Phrasing? None of this is a shot at anybody that's trying to decide what to do, is currently working on a shift, or is unhappy about the way things are. We get it. We understand. We just want more information available to people that actually need it, because there is a lot of misinformation out there and a whole bunch of people making videos for the sake of making a quick dollar off other people's misery.